Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, and we've got a special guest with us today, Shell. Mr. Brad Barrett from GrillGrates has joined us. I feel like I talked you up.
Well, I'm here because you talked us up last week. I'm like, Hakeem, we got to go right now.
Yeah.
That was so nice to hear. You know, you were very kind to us last week, and here we are this week.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I'm glad that we finally got you over. I know it's been, the whole COVID thing and all that's kind of messed up a lot of travel, but we've been talking about threatening to get you over here for a while. So I appreciate y'all taking time out of you. I know you got a busy schedule.
First road trip, baby. That's, this was Memphis. Here we come.
So the drive over wasn't too bad then.
No, and Hakeem was kind enough to drive, so we worked our way over, and we've been busy with doing stuff. So, but it's been great running around, and this is a great way to end the day.
Yeah.
So what's your plan in Memphis? How many days are you here?
Just a couple. Got to see Lambert and, run around and see Jimmy Shotwell and, just go places I haven't been. I haven't been here. Congratulations on this place, guys. This is impressive to see the operation behind the man and the woman here.
Yeah. Monday's our 1 year anniversary for the shop, Shell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, November 1st.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's our wedding anniversary and our shop anniversary.
Nice. Well, you've settled in here well. I mean, I'm impressed with what you've got here.
Shell makes it look good because if it was me,
I knew you didn't decorate.
I told you we was at the shop. If it was just me, we'd have had some racks and then some rubbing sauce on them, and that's probably it. But
and a bunch of grills out front.
And a bunch of grills out front. Yeah, that's right. I can accumulate the grills. You know that.
I do.
But we got a nice GrillGrate display out there.
You do. In fact, we took pictures of it. I've had some people. Well, Code 3. Chris was in here and says, "Brad, I want what Malcom has." I'm like, well, I don't know what Malcom has.
No, that's one product that I've used that we talked about on the podcast. I've been using GrillGrates for a long time, and it's a staple in the grilling world. I think. I don't think you should fire up a grill without one. So
we don't
kudos
disagree
to
with
you
that.
and your
Thank
products.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But before we get too started, can I just say go Braves?
You can. Well, no one's going to say go Astros.
Are you a Braves fan?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
They're coming back home, so
they moved their stadium pretty close to our place. So the traffic is there now.
Yeah.
But
we were out there for a game. Was it end of July, right before school started? We try to take Michael to a game over there every year, and that just works out to last vacation.
Were you at the new stadium?
Yeah. We've been several
awesome.
times. It's awesome.
Yes.
Have you ever been?
No, I've been to the Battery down below. The party area.
Yeah. Oh man, you gotta go in a game. It's it's easy to get. There's always tickets. I mean, I'm sure you probably can't.
Not right now.
Probably can't get them this weekend, but
I'm too cheap to spend for those right now.
I'm hoping they pull it off. I've been growing up, we had Superstation WTBS.
That's right.
And that's why. So at night we watched the Braves. Daytime it was the Cubs on WGN. But so I've been a Braves back then, good times and bad times. We had a great stretch there in the '90s where Braves were.
You
dominant.
did.
We didn't win a lot of World Series, but
I grew up in New Jersey, so I was a Mets fan, and we
Oh,
only had
yeah.
2 good years, and that's about it.
Well, that's awesome.
Are you a Georgia fan?
Yes, I have one that went to UGA, one went to Georgia Tech.
Oh,
so yes, very much a Georgia fan. Of course, now it's nice to see them at number 1.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
So they're a good team.
They got a good shot to go ahead and get them a national title. I mean, I know they're probably going to play Alabama.
Yes, they are.
Unless Auburn can get Alabama, which I'm kind of pulling for that, and Ole Miss to win out. That way we'll get a shot at Georgia. But that's a pipe dream. So.
No, I think the championship, the SEC championship is probably going to be Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah, but that'll be a good one. And then if they do that, who's to say, man?
Yeah, who could stop them after that?
Who could stop them? That'd be tough.
They're playing the Gators this weekend.
Oh, is it the cocktail party?
Yeah,
oh, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my daughter's been to that. She never got inside of the game.
I can imagine.
Well, you've met Julia. You know what.
Yeah. We spent some time at the airport. Remember last time?
Yeah.
Your buddy from the island.
Ed.
He's a life of a party.
He is. He's my next door neighbor down there, and he is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In fact, Susan's having dinner with his wife tonight.
So good deal. Well, before, I guess the first thing I want to know, man, can we get some backstory? How'd you get started with GrillGrates?
I've never heard this story.
You never heard this story?
I haven't either, yeah.
I still don't tell it very well, but it's the long and the short of it is I was working for a guy who had a whole bunch of products on the shelf. And I had just had a company go down, which is a hard thing to do. You scuttle, you get off the ship, you shake it off. So he goes, okay, Brad, get in here, find some innovation in my business. I got all these divisions. He was a very large company at the time. And I was working on a coating for guns, this UV thing. And he goes, and I got this cooking thing that came on this electric grill. I don't know anything about it, but it came with one of my acquisitions. And I started to play with it. And I got the backstory on him was if he had not let his patent go, the man would have owned George Foreman because it was there was no holes in it. It had Teflon at the time. It was an electric grill surface.
Yeah.
I put the holes on it, took the Teflon off. I learned the hard way about taking the Teflon off. Got sicker than hell.
Oh, really?
You overheat that stuff and you get this thing called polymer fever.
Yeah.
It's like a headache like no other.
So you burning it off?
Well, I got a little too hot on my kettle.
Yeah. Oh.
Then all of a sudden the Teflon, off gases and it's like,
wow.
I didn't know what it was. I went back to the guy. Oh, yeah, that's polymer fiber. Don't do that again.
Man, what did it do to you?
Well, it just gives you a hell of a headache for about a day. No problem. But
you can grow another ear.
But it cooks so well that I was working on a bunch of different products. And he's like, Brad, I'm not in the consumer product business. I'm in the chemistry business. Work on this, work on that. I'd love this gun coating, which we were already Congress with a lubricationless gun, believe it or not, the UV coatings. But he goes, I can tell you can't let go of this, can you? I said, no. He says, well, you ready to roll again? Because he had financed me before, and he invested in me before.
Yeah.
Take it. He said, before you do something stupid, I'll send you to my patent attorney to see if there's anything here. And the patent attorney's like, it's hard to repatent something that's been out before that was patented, but it didn't have the holes and it didn't have the Teflon was a problem.
Still fit together or was a solid piece?
It was, at that point, they did not fit together, but there was a hinge in one of his prior iterations.
Yeah.
I met the original inventor. I finally tracked it all the way down, But anyway, so the long and the short of it was he gave me permission to leave his business, actually gave me a piece of his warehouse and said, okay, I've backed you before. He wouldn't invest in this one, though. He was in his late 80s. And the reason why was he goes, you're going to sell one of these and you're done. Your average order value is going to be it. You're going to sell one to Malcom and you're never going to sell anything more to Malcom. So he didn't think we had a business model that made sense. But that was in 2007. And then the world really started, the food TV and all this stuff happened. But the big thing that made it work for us was this multiple grill ownership. It's like we turned into 3-car garages. Everybody had 3 grills in the backyard. And
you want one for each.
The whole thing took off. And then the gift market, because you like it and you're like, man, I'm going to get this from all my buddies. Yep. And we became a good gift product. So, but the backstory was it had the electric grill, which is so ironic because here we are 15 years later, and where am I? Inside with the electric products.
That's right.
So we've come full circle, and we're right back kind of where it was originated from. So anyway,
I know one of the products you got is that spatula. I get more questions about where I get that spatula than the grates themselves. I guess people just associate, it's just GrillGrate.
Well, thank you. It is kind of an icon. I mean, you see that, and if you know GrillGrate, that's a
GrillGrate spatula.
But it really did work going into that. Kind of how it came up. It's like going down the valleys.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, why don't we do that?
But it
was
worked.
That your idea?
Yeah, but there was another guy who had his hand in it too. I mean, I'm not going to take total credit for this. Usually, good ideas are kind of around the table. So he called it a fork, but I called it the great tool.
Yeah, no, but that was good because the marketing goes right with it. I mean,
right. That was actually named by Brendel down on the island.
Really?
He turned around. He was in my first little ad. He turned around and said, "This is a great tool." I'm like, "You just named it."
You just named it. Didn't even know it, did he?
So yeah, it's been fun. 15 years. Kind of believe it or not.
Yeah, I know it doesn't seem like it, does it?
Well, my hair shows it, or lack of it.
Yeah.
Well, so was Susan always a part of that with you, or is she doing her own thing?
She was on her own thing. It's year probably 3. The first couple of years almost don't count. You go kind of in circles and run into walls and have problems. But once we started to take off, we did exactly what you guys did. My oldest daughter was heading off to college, so I absconded with her bedroom. That was the office.
Yeah.
The dining room turned into the warehouse. And we shipped just like you did, out of your own garage. We worked out of our home for probably the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we moved into I hate to call it, it's sort of a challenged adult workshop.
Yeah.
Which was one of the most interesting blessings of our lives, to work with all these cool people and they loved it. And so we were there until we outgrew that. And then we finally became, real players and moved into our own warehouse, sort of like what you did.
Yeah.
And, so, Susan's been part of it ever since. She's HR. She calls that a 4-letter word.
That was she. I'm sure she does all the shell rolls. You get to do like that. You get to talk about it and have fun with it. And she
Classic entrepreneur. I'm the one who makes the mess, but I don't necessarily clean it up.
Yeah. No, we have a local. I wouldn't think you call it a group. I guess it's a home, but it's called the Badur Center, and that's where the mentally challenged or handicapped in some kind of ways. They live there, and we do as much as we can. They've done packaging for us. They've done a lot of stuff, and so anytime you can help out, people that in need like that's great. They love the work, like you said. It's a great thing.
Yeah, it's pretty heartwarming stuff.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
And to walk in there and they're all excited, it's like, Brad, they just melt into a puddle.
Yeah. No, I remember back we had Michael. I mean, when we were unloading pallets, we'd put Michael to work out there. It was those were some rough years. Because your rain, sleet, or snow, in the garage, no heat, no air, and we'd spend 8 hours a day a lot of times.
Sometimes,
you try to film a video once a week, and then you go outside and
I'd be stuffing a car full of orders. I wrecked the rear, whatever, the bearings in my car by hauling. I was literally hauling grates in the beginning too. I would drive up to Knoxville, load grates into the car, take them over to an anodizer, and I'd wreck the vehicle until I finally got into being able to ship them and be less cheap.
Yeah.
But I was managing the supply chain and moving grates around the Southeast.
So did you put your son and daughter to work too, or they already in college?
They were in college, but when we got them home, we'd put them to work a little bit. But my son was a little bit more interested in that because he's handy, so he would help, and he's also helped from the thermodynamic stuff because I still can't explain that well why they cook. I mean, 15 years later, we still can't explain our own product.
Why it works so well? Yeah. That's a good problem to have, though.
It is, but it's still hard to, it isn't just about pretty marks. I'll be, they make great sear marks. Well, that's just the surface. What goes on inside that meat, I still haven't been able to explain why it's more tender, more juicy, less shrinkage, all those things that we're learning.
So how many employees have you worked up to today?
Well, we were 15 yesterday. We're 14 today. The help wanted signs back out front. But we have a good little freelance group working around us too. We've got a great marketing team.
I was going to say you have all aspects.
Led by Hakeem over here.
That's right.
No, we've got a really good group of people, the best we've ever had, and that's rewarding. And that is, it's a challenge to have that. 15 is not that many, but it's enough.
It is. Oh no, that's we're seeing that. I think we're up to 10 or 11, aren't we? Something like that, and steady. Finding places where you need some help every day. Mm-hmm. But it's really it's kind of a great time for me if you're looking for employees because there's so many people that are willing to try something different now in the state we're in. But
warehouses. More
yeah.
That's our challenge.
Oh yeah, that's luckily we don't have.
And we
that
feed
problem,
them. I mean, we'll do whatever.
And I was going to get into that. Last year, everybody was trying to find out what to do scrambling because the way of life changed.
Right,
we were all staying home, and you jumped right in, started doing the live stuff from the house, and I thought that
you were my
awesome.
First guest.
Yeah, I was on it. I was actually
on Instagram. We had so much fun.
Yeah, there was a lot.
We
of
had
fun.
terrible internet at that time too.
Oh,
It kept dropping out. It
was hard. Yeah.
But we cooked breakfast together, as I remember.
We did. It was on a Saturday, I think, wasn't it?
Yep.
And that was a fun day.
Well, I hope we don't go back to those days though.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's been. We went to our first wedding the other day. It was so nice to feel normal and back together and be with a group. We had dinner with Lisa and her family last night. Family get-togethers and come. It's nice to feel back to almost normal.
I hadn't seen Lisa and Russell. Man, it's been a while. Probably World Food.
Probably last time she beat us.
Probably last time she beat us. Yeah.
She cooked against Lisa Gautney. She cooked against us in the seafood competition at the World Food
and she
Championship.
won. Yeah,
she won first place in there.
Yeah.
Well, she's gearing up to do it again.
Is she really?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's been cooking as many SCAs. They used to cook a lot of SCAs.
Well, she's
a world champion. Isn't
she is. She's won some SCAs as well.
Yeah.
But she's won the world food as well. But she's doing a lot of cooking, but she's also doing some consulting. Very talented woman. And I mean, those two are just like you. They're both a good team.
Yeah. It takes a team, man. I promise you. Got to have somebody in that boat with you.
Yeah. Well, behind every successful man is usually a very talented woman.
I can attest to that. I can.
When I was checking out your website and kind of looking at your history, I noticed y'all have an office dog. Do y'all still have an office dog?
Morgan is 15 years old.
Oh, man.
And she still goes to work every day. In fact, we're on the road. One of our gals takes her home. She's become part of a family. So she goes to work. She's never missed a day.
Really?
We've got a little office dog, if you notice, running around here, too.
We call her the director of research and development.
Yeah. We call Minnie Top Dog Security.
She is top dog security.
Yeah, Morgan hasn't barked at anybody coming in that door. She just wants to know if you brought anything for her.
Yeah.
So you came bearing some unique gifts today, man. What do we have?
We were talking about
steak.
Lisa.
This goes back to steaks.
Okay.
Lisa.
Lisa Gwatney was in Georgia a few weeks ago, and she was kind enough to she came up to our office. We've been trying to do that. If you ever get passed through, and we can have you come up and cook with us. But she brought in this product called koji rice. It's only from Japan. We got this on Amazon. This is a gift to you.
I've never heard of it.
I never had either. So koji rice is a fermented rice. So there's little activity going on there, right?
Yeah.
And she put a little food processor, just kind of chopped it up, not too fine, and breaded the steaks. Really bread them, cover every square inch of the things, and it's like a dry age hack. So bread them, wrap it in cellophane, put it in the fridge for 2 days. One will still work, two's a little better. Take it out of the cellophane, scrape everything off. The rice will be kind of pinky red, because it's like sticking an iPhone in a bag of rice, right?
That's what it's pulling that moisture out. That's what dry aging is. It's getting that moisture out of the meat.
Right. So, but then there's something else going on. That's where the fermentation. It's like an umami funk in there.
Yeah.
And
simulates that bacteria breakdown.
Yes. So whatever it is, it works. And we bought a bunch of it, and I've been giving it out as gifts. So I had to. This is my gift to you.
Yeah. So, but man, that's
have some fun.
Really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to trying that.
But Lisa actually entered a Napa Valley, one of those virtual cooking contests where you had to submit a recipe and the chefs would do it. She won $5,000. Took first with this.
Wow. Really?
So it's the real deal.
Yeah.
And I cooked it for one of my buddies last week, and I cook for every time I see my fishing guide buddy, I cook him a steak, and he's like, "Okay, this is totally different and totally better than anything you've ever cooked for me."
So does it give you a better flavor?
There is a flavor enhancement on the outside too. It isn't just the dry age simulation.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a flavor bump, and it's nice. It's different.
Yeah.
It's too bad you can't use SCA because you need that 24 hours.
Yeah. So it's a time thing, and it's speeding up that 30-day or 45-day dry age process or whatever.
Right. With a little ferment. I don't. My daughter could probably explain it. She's the biologist. But there's something going on there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it's breaking down that outside and doing something.
Well, have to let me know what you think.
I will. I definitely will. You might see a video on that somewhere.
Did you use just a regular ribeye?
Yes.
When you did it.
Well, I've done it with choice and prime.
Okay.
Lisa did it choice with the rice, and then she put it up against some prime without the rice.
Hands down?
Hands down.
Really?
Wow.
And it was the prime she was against.
Oh, man. That's good.
She had several people testing it. They're like, done. I mean, it's that different. So, fun.
Yeah, that's real fun.
It is.
So, Shell had a question on here for you. I didn't know. She asked me what the biggest grill grate y'all make. What is the biggest grate that y'all make? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, well, we've made them like 4 foot long for show, but they don't cook. It's a we have a restaurant product that actually was doing really well. We've been to the restaurant show 5 years in a row until this last 2 years. So it's a 24-inch long and it's 10 inches wide, and the rails are much tighter. Yeah. And it weighs about 5 or 6 pounds a grate. Much less than a cast iron.
Yeah.
It takes the space of what 2 cast iron grates would on a restaurant.
Griller. Yeah.
And we're starting to find a niche. I mean, where we really jumped in was that without the holes going on a flat top, because a lot of the restaurants have underutilized flat tops.
That's right.
And we were able to, kind of give you another dimension to your flat top. So the commercial grate's our biggest one, and it's 24 inches by 10.5 wide and weighs a ton.
Well, I've been thinking about that because I started cooking. We got at deer camp, we've got one of these Blackstones, and we love cooking on it. And I said, man, you know what? There's nothing wrong with the seared steak or whatever. But I said, I wonder if I could take my grill grates and lay it on that Blackstone. Because I had I got a PK down there and had it set, and just to keep from having to fire up a fire or something, just to see what it would be like. And I hadn't tried it yet, but now that you say you're making a product to do it,
we make a product for the Blackstones now.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't.
we just leave the holes out.
Yeah.
So you get full contact to the base instead of with the holes.
That's right.
Okay.
And and we learned something else too. Yes, you get a sear, and you find your hot spot because there are hot spots on those things. You get it is where the hot spot is, but you also get another layer, another level. So it can be a cooling zone, or it can be like I've gotten enough of my. I don't want to. You put a hamburger on there for 20 minutes, you're going to need a knife to cut through. That's right. So you could move it up here. It's sort of like a reverse version of what you would do on your PK.
Well, see, I like that solid, right? And that's what you sent me one to use in the air fryer, the Ninja air fryer. My mom loves it, by the way. She uses it all the time. But we did it on Out the Smoke. We had one here at the shop back there that you'd sent. Mm-hmm. I think it was one of the seconds or something. And I said, well, let's just see what it'll do. Could you really cook a pork chop in an air fryer, get grill marks on it, and it worked? I was like, we didn't know. I never tried it.
Sure.
Man, I was thoroughly impressed. And that's what got me thinking about the whole Blackstone application with it. Because, you got the heat coming from the bottom. That's all you need. And once it heats that grate up, the grates do so well at radiating heat and helping stuff cook even. And you get that little juice drips. It can hit the little rail, and it's hot, so it gives you a sizzle, a little flavor, Yep.
Drippings are flavor. Well,
that's it.
And that's the point that, the air fryer thing, I'd love to say we figured that out. We didn't. One of our customers was like, would this ever work? I'm like, let me send you some product, because he was a handy guy. He sent pictures back. He goes, Brad. And literally 6 months later, we launched it, and it took off. And then the air fryer has begat the smart oven.
Yeah.
And Weber jumped right in there hard and fast. They bought the June smart oven really as much for their OS.
Yeah.
And these are really cool products. When Lisa and Russell were in our office, Russell and I were out front grilling. Lisa was inside with Hakeem. We both used the Koji. The Ninja smart oven was the office's choice. None of our people knew which one it came out. Now, I think Russell and I may have laid a little too much sear on our steak. But the Ninja Smart Oven was the office choice, because we do that all the time. We don't tell them what it is. It's like, which one do you like better? Yeah. And the Ninja Smart Oven actually outpaced and then we did it on a gasser, so it was a Weber gasser. So maybe that's, but it's a fun little segment.
Well, the applications for those not everybody has a place outside where they can grill or they're comfortable building a fire or something, and so that's where. And having a product that crosses over that you can use indoor, outdoor on any type of grill, that's part of what makes it great.
I love that. Makes it great.
Yeah, it makes it great. I try to work that in. That's great with an A, right?
There you go. That's right.
The E's only at the end. No,
I love that you're so prepared. I didn't get to see your
great
questions in advance. So.
No, we didn't prep you. We didn't prep you. I'm just trying to look on here and see what's next.
Well, how many different sizes of grill grates do you guys sell?
I don't even know. We have 70-something SKUs in our Dior side. Because you can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got that.
Yeah.
We're now into half moons for the eggs and the kettles, which I really use a lot of. We have a couple of kettles that we use. The SNS, which is a pretty nice kettle too. I like the half moons because my grill setup. Usually it's one side's half rails, the other side's rails flat. I have to tell you a funny story about Meathead when you want to work that in.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, we get.
Oh yeah, we have to bring Meathead up. He's a good friend, but we have been this sear mark debate that he's been raging. I've been like, listen, you're being a little contrarian here. When he compared sear marks to Lindsay Lohan freckles, I started to get. I'm like, Meathead, we have to talk.
That's too low blow. Right? Yeah. No, he's a good guy, but he's good too. Yeah, but I'm all a fan. I like coming from a competition barbecue world. I eat with my eyes a lot of times first, and I know a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. If something looks good, so with GrillGrates, you can put the beautiful marks on it. And there's nothing wrong with it if you like your meat seared all the way across one even thing. If that's the way you like it, but I like the difference.
And it is a flavor. It's a little bit. Sometimes if you get really
too
hot,
harsh.
you get a little you can get a little. Yeah. And I don't mind a bite of char.
Yeah,
but I don't want a whole
thing
mouth.
Char.
No.
That's the way I am. That's everybody says, "Oh man, that best steak's perfect char all the way across." That's a little much.
Well, I have a maxim in my life: when you get presented with either or, the answer is usually both.
Yeah.
And with Meathead, that's really what happened. He's like, sear marks are bad. I'm like, okay, Meathead, let's go. And I even wrote a blog which he didn't read. Yeah. So we actually finally did get on did a little thing on LinkedIn or whatever it was. So here's my latest way on grilling steaks. I'm still on the rails 90% of the time because the rails are heat injectors. They're sending the same amount of heat up, and it's conductive. It's not like cast iron, which is just a big, once you get cast iron hot, you don't get it to cool off.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is conductive. So you're sending up the same amount of heat through those rails. So I like to stay on the rails. I still get my beautiful marks. But for the last 15 seconds, I flip it over to the flat side and just get a little extra browning, or as much as you want. So I've started to do sort of a little bit of both. And we call it the Ruth Chris Kiss.
Yeah.
And, because that's really what they're doing. They're
coming from above, but
yeah, but they've pre-cooked their steaks and they're just giving it a hit. And, that's it. So I've kind of modified my technique a little bit, and Meathead and I made up. And we still talk. But we've had a lot of fun with this. But it's like, sear marks do matter.
They do. I think so.
What's his point? What his point is that
the Maillard reaction that
you're not getting it complete.
And then he also starting to go, the little area between those lines is just crying for. I'm like, come on, man.
If you want that much crust on it, go for it.
Go for it.
I mean,
but I'd still use the rails to get the even, tender cook, and then do the surface treatment. Because 30 seconds, 60 seconds is really almost too much.
Yeah. I can see that.
So next time, well, try that. Do the rails and the flat.
So what I've always used the little more grit on the PK. And so I'll get my sears, and then I go up.
Then you go up.
I go up and watch it and let it come up slow. I've got all the direct hot
that you need.
Yeah, conductive heat on it where I want it.
Right.
And then the rest of it's just about good heat to get it over. I mean,
you got it.
And then the little bit of char that it gets from the lines blends perfect with the way the rest of it, especially if you add, don't just use straight coals. If you want to, you can. I like adding a little chunk of wood to give it some smoke in there too. I'm a smoke guy.
Well, that's why the PK is such a good grill in the competition world. I mean, they've really the teams have really figured out a beautiful protocol for putting out a steak.
That's right. And it's almost automatic.
Well, GrillGrates make it easy to cook, but I've got PKs on both of my decks. I mean, I love the PK.
Yeah.
And the 360 is my go-to grill.
That's the one you're using at home? I was going to ask you how many grills you have. That's a question that we had on. Well, jumping in a little bit.
About 20, 25.
Yeah, so you're like me.
I'm a whore.
You got a problem too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, when a new grill comes out, but we have a business reason.
Now I can see you.
Got to buy it. Yeah. And especially like when the Master-built gravity set feds come out, Hawking's like, we got to get this thing because it was getting traction out there.
Yeah.
So we got to be able to speak intelligently to a grill. And that and then that's a nice thing about our industry. The innovation we're seeing right now, it's the grills that are coming out, that tribal fryer thing. There's so many interesting things happening, and it's America at its finest. Really, there's a lot of innovation. So we got to buy these grills. So that's my excuse to my wife. Anyway.
So do the grill man? I guess they don't send you grills as prototypes.
Some of them do. Several of them do. We just got in 4 the other day, and 2 of them were not allowed. We don't sign NDAs with run the hell out of it. In fact, the one guy's like, leave it out in the rain, abuse the hell out of it, take a lot of pictures, but don't show it to anybody yet. So, we do get to see a little advanced sneak previews. But, like the Weber Smoke Fire, when it came out, I was first in line. And they got a little maligned. There was a little bit of, people were going after them unfairly, I think. But so I ran the hell out of it. And just so I could explain it to people. And we're like, wow, it works well, and GrillGrates work really well on it too.
So, what pellet grill wise? I get that question all the time. Do you need GrillGrates with pellet grills? I say yes. First one I ever got that I'm pretty sure it came with them was Yoder.
Yes,
I had the 480s. I used to cook the 480s, and they came, from
and still do.
Yeah, they still.
I got a 480 on my deck. It's really probably my go-to if it's not raining where I use my gasser.
Yeah,
the 480 or the RecTech. I mean, I've got both the RecTech Bullseye, which I don't know if you've ever used one of those.
I've never cooked. I mean, I hear a lot of good things about RecTech.
It's a speed.
I cook on Traegers most of the time, but I mean,
Traeger we love. It's our best-selling skew-a-dace.
Really,
the Traeger actually is kind of. To me, it's equal to Weber now in terms of sales.
Oh yeah,
it's up there. Yeah,
but the pellet grills, to your point, the argument used to be made that they were outdoor ovens.
Yeah,
and they were beautiful.
I used mine as one.
I haven't used the Kamado much in a while because the Traeger, the pellets are just.
I find myself with my egg like that. I mean, the times I want to use my egg is when I'm doing a super high heat sear, so I can get that thing 750, 800 degrees, whatever. It does a beautiful.
I do that for wahoo and for yellowfin when I just want a really hot fish, but I want it cool on the inside.
And you're not going to do that on a pellet grill. You're not. I mean, you're not. you don't want to get a Weber that hot.
No, and you're only going to be cooking 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's it.
That's what my wife used to say, Brad, you're working for 30, 40 minutes to get a 2-minute cook. I'm like,
takes
honey,
that
there's
thing-
no other way to do it.
It takes that thing hours to cool back off too. What you do it. I think an egg. If I had to pick one grill that would probably wreck a set of GrillGrates, that egg would.
Oh, it is. We put a disclaimer. We put a little warning card in every egg set we sell, every Kamado set we sell. Warning, Will Robinson. If that dial says 500, your grates are about 800.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And if your dial says 750, you're at warp speed.
So that was one thing we've shown people, and I still think a lot of people don't believe us when you put a set of GrillGrates on a pellet grill. Mm-hmm. Even though you've got that pellet grill running 300, 350, 400 degrees or whatever, if yours will go to 500, you run at 500, those grates are getting up to super searing temps.
You're picking up an easy 100
people
degrees.
say there's no way you can get that much more heat on them. And I say, well, just because the dial and where it's probing is that 500 or wherever,
That's right.
That doesn't mean where it's at in location of the diverter and the grill grate and all the heat coming in from the bottom.
Well, you
That's
bring
what
up
gets
Traeger.
hot.
One of the things that, I like the grills with the stacks because you've got a flow that's really running that way.
Yes.
So you go on the stack side, tight to the stack side. What you're doing is you're slowing down that. So you're trapping more of the heat down below. And
Works great on the Yoder for that, too.
Oh,
That's where my
absolutely.
Yoder's the hottest, right there on the stack side.
yeah, I love the open fire option they have
Yeah.
too. I mean, I don't think my lid's been in since I put the 480 on the deck, but I grill 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of the low and slow. I don't have time. I don't have enough people around, except when we do it in the office.
Yeah, well, as you come into the shop today, you noticed we had those new charcoal pellets from Roll Up.
Yes.
And that's what, I told you, I said they work great. The application I love using them is on one of my pellet grills where I can move the diverter or put the diverter in its perforated, and then I can get access to my grill grate over it, cooking steaks or whatever I'm grilling, getting the juices to drip down slowly, hit some of that pellet fire that's in the fire hopper. My Memphis grill does it. My Yoder does it really well. And I know there's other manufacturers out there that have grills.
Well, you finally explained it. I didn't get it. I'm like, a charcoal pellet seems like an oxymoron to me.
Yeah.
But it makes sense if you're doing it, if it really pops that much more heat.
Yeah.
So that's
They do produce a lot of BTU. I mean, that's the highlights of them to me. They produce high BTU, so you can get higher heat out of them. They don't burn as much, so you're getting more bang for your buck.
Okay.
They're efficient, and they don't absorb moisture. So if you're leaving them outside, you don't have to worry about as much as
Interesting.
A bag of pellets, you forget, leave it outside underneath the counter or something.
And there's nothing worse than a mushy bag of pellets because then your auger's screwed up and the whole thing goes downhill.
You're not going to do that. You can't hardly. I mean, these are super hard charcoal pellets. I even did a test where you put them in a glass of water. They don't absorb any of the water. You can leave them for days. If you think about it, charcoal filters water. I use it charcoal filtered.
Sure.
So it's not made to absorb any water at all. So they're great.
Well, I want to walk out with a bag. I'm going to go shopping up front. Yeah. So first, Rochelle, you got. I
can't believe you. Yeah, Roll Oaks over there in Roswell, man. I can't believe you don't.
Yeah,
they should have gave you some to try.
Well, we've got a lot of pellet grills to run them on.
Yeah, that's right. No, but they're it's a good product.
Our problem, you ask how many grills we have. How many air fryers do we have now, Hakeem? My God, it's so frustrating. We must have 15 or 20 of those. We've given them all. Every one of our employees has a grill and an air fryer or a smart oven because the same thing. When they're coming out, we're out of our element here. So I'm really having to learn. And Lisa was so blown away when we had that Ninja X smart oven out there. But so we probably have about 20 of those too, brand new.
Yeah, it's brand new. I just started. They're doing some campaign with it. I remember I told you the other day they sent something about wanting to get some people behind it a little bit, and I was like, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I know I like the Ninja Foodie. It's a like pressure.
Well, that's what started it all. Yeah, I mean, it makes the best French fries in the world too.
Oh yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
shoot, I like chicken wings in it, man. You ever done wings in the air fryer?
I have not.
Man, they are awesome. If you don't want to get outside, the weather, it's perfect for if the weather's bad. That's what I use.
Sure,
because I'm an outdoor cooking guy.
Right.
I love being outside when I can. You don't have to worry about messing up Shell's kitchen. You don't have to heat the house up with the ovens or whatever. Everything's outside. And, even though I create a mess out there, it's easier to go out there and clean it up or go inside and clean it up later.
I know my way around the grill. I'm not that well around the kitchen.
But, I mean, I love cooking on it. And I like how y'all came up with different, applications for it. The first one probably, other than the GrillGrate that I saw, was when you had the cast iron insert where you're supposed to be using it in the oven.
Right.
And so that kind of transitioned to the air fryer,
Yep.
I'm waiting on the crock pot one.
Yeah, we haven't looked at that one yet, but the oven seems to be a wasteland right now.
You figured out how to use a GrillGrate crock pot. You got some. You can make that Mississippi pot roast with some GrillGrate marks on it.
I don't know.
I don't know if it can stay submerged in liquid that long.
Oh, we could handle that, but I don't think we'll do much in there.
Yeah, probably. Oh, you never know.
How many pages you got there?
We got plenty, man. We got plenty. Here's one I didn't even know. I didn't know this. Shell put on there. What was it like going on QVC? Because that's a whole different animal. That's a whole different animal.
I will tell a quick story here. I have a couple of investors, mostly of friends, because we needed some help. We started in 2007, the world changed. So anyway, she came with us. She's been married 4 times, so she's on 5 now. Anyway, it was stress out. I can't explain. So anyway, 2 stories real quick. Number 1, I was on an outdoor set with the big tall guy in the kitchen with David.
Yeah.
And he made me look skinny. He's huge. But anyway, they had these new Charbroil grills with the dials here. There was the first version of infrareds.
Right, gotcha.
And I was a little bit nervous, and all of a sudden these things started to scream to 600, 700 degrees. And I'm like, I can't cook on this. It's going to be too hot. I can't demo. So I pushed them off the set, but I pushed one into a tree.
Oh, man.
I caught this damn tree on fire. And then I'm like, ah! So I was already panicked by the time David rolled up. And when we were done cooking, I mean, they wheel him up on a golf cart, and he jumps off, and he is in mid-sentence before he even hits the stand alongside you. I mean, this man is prepared. He's organized. I was very impressed. But it's the same thing. When you're done, it's like, where'd he go?
He's gone.
And I'm standing there all alone on the set going, well, at least I can say I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll go back to the blue room, or it's called the green room, rather, and they're all cheering. I'm like,
you did great.
We did okay, huh?
Yeah.
I walked back with my tail between. I was like, well, it was fun. And I guess they have a ticker, and they watch in the room, and they can see the sales. We sold 3,000 sets in 7 minutes.
That's
and I'm like, holy moly.
That's crazy.
And then we went out and had a nice long dinner with a lot of cocktails.
Wine, yeah.
And Suzanne, this is our friend and our investor, she's like, that was more stressful than any of my 4 marriages. I'm like, oh. So we did it one more time, but it's work. But I financially it wasn't that valuable, but experience-wise, exposure-wise, the website blew up after that. So it was good, but I probably wouldn't do it again.
What year did you do that?
That was a long time ago, probably 2011.
It's a different type of custer.
It's mostly women, and they're all crazy shoppers. I mean, there's a QVC addiction.
Yes, definitely.
But
that's what you see on Hoarders. The other show that comes up, it's people's stuff.
But it's a fond memory. You brought up a blast from the past there, Michelle. Oh my gosh, you did your homework. What else have you got on there?
This one really is a good one. It goes back to the grateful. I mean, we've noticed, hashtags are a big thing that everybody uses now. But y'all started using the hashtag GrillGrateful.
Yes.
And just, with what y'all have done and always being thankful and appreciative for what you grew in the brand. And that's something that we stress constantly with ours.
I think gratitude is the only way to go through life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And GrillGrateful just fell out. It's not something like we figured out. It was just like, wow. And I started to use it. And I use it on almost all my posts. I even sign notes when I have my handwritten notes out.
Yeah.
Because it is. Being grateful, I think, is the most important attitude anybody can carry.
It keeps it right there on your mind, too, always.
And we're grateful to be at the grill because I still think that is one of the most important places to be together with family and friends.
That's what it is.
Around the grill, around the fire. It's a grateful time whenever you're doing it.
It wouldn't be any fun if it was just you doing it. I think that's what my love,
it's like
passion for barbecue. Yeah. It's like, exactly.
Because you're
I do it for the fellowship.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the, it's family, it's friends, it's good times, it's
it's
food that we all enjoy, it's sharing with other people, and everything you do revolves around that. And so I think it's very important to be thankful, to be grateful that we get the opportunity to do that.
And it seems like every time you're around the grill with buddies, that's kind of where it's,
it
may not be spoken, but it's felt.
Yeah, exactly.
Or when you're knee deep in packages, you're trying to get out, and stressed out, changing your mindset and being like, "There's a lot worse problems I could have now." Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know how many times Shell's told me that. She has to walk me back from the ledge all the time. The monotony and the stress and all that. You don't see that. The stuff we do, and I'm sure your customers don't see that with you.
Or you're waiting until the FedEx truck shows, and it's now 6 o'clock, and wife's calling, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I can't leave until FedEx shows up."
Our shipments got lost, and you're having to deal with that. Oh man.
Yep.
No. Well, Shell, what else do you have here?
I want to get some secrets.
Secrets?
Secrets of cooking on the GrillGrate. When you get a brand new GrillGrate, how do you season them?
And I tell you, this came from a chef, and we really changed a lot of our procedures about this. An onion or any alum, even a potato, has a sulfur compound that what makes your tears. When you run that down a hot grate, you're laying down a patina that's good to 1,000 degrees. So it's, spray will oil up and it'll kind of condense, So I love the onion, and I do it a lot. My wife is now in the when we do grilled onions all the time, or sautéed onions. She saves me the ends, and I have a little baggie in the fridge, and that's that's up and down the rails. It skates. It's a beautiful thing. So that's really
good too.
It does, and in fact, that's a Brett Galloway tip. He lifts up the grate and the onion goes into the coals.
That's right. We've been burning onions for a long time. Hey, I got that from watching some of these Mexican guys do asada cooking where they've got a little tool where it's like a little fork and it's a little circle. Have you seen it? The onion goes in it, and they never use a grill brush. You don't catch them scraping anything.
We had considered actually building a tool like that.
You should.
A little fork that could run up and down with an onion. But that, to answer your question, that's the best way to do it.
How often do you do that?
Every time I get them really hot, because they'll dry out. I mean, when I burn off the seasoning, or especially like sometimes it's an elongated cocktail hour and the grill's hot for a long period of time, and those grates get awfully hot. They get dry.
Sure.
So I'm like, I need onion real quick, and I'll hit it before I put the food on. I don't use sprays.
And do you notice you do pick up a little essence of? I mean, it's not super strong, but
it's also sanitary.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of a.
There is.
I forget the right word. Antimicrobial might be the right word.
Yeah, from the onion.
Yeah.
That was always something. I don't know if I believed it as a kid or whatever, but my grandmother, she would say you could take an onion, cut it in half, and set it on your nightstand, and it'd pull cold out of you. Or if you're in, because germs and stuff are supposed to be drawn to it. I don't know what it is that attracts them. So it's like a sanitizer. It's just a cut onion, half an onion, and also I was told this. I don't know how true it is, but if you cut an onion, you're not just supposed to leave it in your refrigerator uncovered. And you're not supposed to eat it after that because it's absorbed all these different things. So if you're going to put an onion in the refrigerator, you got to put it in saran wrap,
baggie
or plastic baggie, or a bowl or something, because it's
I believe
it's
that
going
makes
to
sense.
absorb everything to it that's in there. So.
But I know onions and garlic; those things are really good for you.
Oh heck yeah, they're real good for you.
So do you clean your GrillGrates pretty much the same way?
I don't clean
my.
Clean them. No, do you know how my GrillGrates get cleaned? Eventually they'll catch on fire because I got a little burn pile in the back. I'll get a big pile of debris because I'll be cooking every night on them. I used to soak them, put them in simple green and spring do that. They self clean. They shed, So quite frankly, I don't clean my GrillGrates. I do scrape the top. We have a scraper tool, sort of like peel and paint. One shot, just right down the rails one time. Brush them, done, cook.
I'm going to tell you this, and we ruined a set. It took me forever at Memphis and May. So if you ever glaze something on there, thick sweet sauce at high heats, there's something about the sugars and stuff in that sauce. It'll get down, and we stopped up every little hole in the GrillGrate.
Yep.
And it was a buddy I had cooking, Memphis and May. Of course, they put them out, took the lid down, didn't take nothing out. And I go home and they started cooking my GrillGrates, and you can't see. I mean, it's nothing.
We have a few in the shop like that.
Hours.
But I'll tell you a trick. Flip them over at the end of the cook. Just flip them over.
And just let them burn.
Let them burn off. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll burn all that out.
Because we do a Korean short rib.
Yes.
It's very sweet, and I make a hell of a mess. And the next day, it's like, okay, well, it's going to take a little longer to clean it up. But it all pops right off.
I do like the self-cleaning aspect of it. It's a lot like your oven at home. It's just doing it with high heat. So you're
right.
You're not having to spray any kind of chemical on it. I mean,
and we try to tell our customers that when you're done cooking, shut the lid. When you start it up next time, just brush off what's left and get
start going again.
Go after it again.
Yeah. Treat it like you kind of do your cast iron. Get it good and hot.
Yep, they shed. But what doesn't come off today will come off tomorrow.
So when you're storing them, you just leave them right on the grate?
Yeah, my grates all stay on my grills, even the pellet grills. But I'm a griller. I don't do a lot of low and slow. But I will tell you, if I'm doing ribs or a butt, they do come off because they will amp. Now I have guys finishing their butts and stuff because they want a little bark, or taking the brisket and get a little extra barking and stuff. But no, they come off if I'm. But I'm the opposite. I take my GrillGrates off once or twice a year when I'm doing a butt or a brisket or something on the pellet grill.
Well, I love flipping them over and cooking on the backside of them. I know you got the flat panels that can.
I cook on the flat side all the time. We just did a breakfast thing. We were doing pancakes.
Yeah.
You know,
on
the flat side.
Yeah.
You get a little dribble through until it collects, but it's fine. And then you flip it over, there's little horns on them.
Yeah. But it works great. It really
does.
Like
the flat side
burgers. I mean, I've done. I did a video doing those Philly cheesesteaks on the backside of.
Yep.
They work fantastic.
But most of my grills, I've got 2 or 3 with rails up, and at least 1 or 2 with the rails down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm going back and forth, like I'm with the steak technique that, it's mostly here, but then I'll go over here.
Do the defrosters actually work?
Oh my God!
So
yes.
Explain that, dude.
All right.
This sounds like
aluminum is super conductive. You're not running electricity over wires, over cast iron, right?
Yeah.
It's the wires overhead are aluminum. It conducts heat very similar to the way it moves electricity. It's moving it through, and it does the same thing with cold. So when you put something frozen on that plate, you would be amazed how cold that aluminum gets really quickly. Years ago, before the internet, there was a product called the Magic Defrost Plate.
Yeah,
and it was just a slab of aluminum, pretty thin, like mine, little black paint on it, and they sold them all over the place. So, yes, it really works. We've had guys tell us I had to buy another one because my wife stole the first one. She used as a defrost plate.
So it's the exact same panel as a flat piece?
Yep. Yeah. But it's ribbed on the bottom side for the defrosting because you're going to get some moisture and condensation.
Yeah, to get it away.
So that just keeps it off it keeps it off the food. And it really, really does work.
I got to do it. Does it work on that?
Hakeem did a really good video.
Lay it on a plate.
He put an ice cube on one. Watch that.
Watch it. Huh.
So, do you put it on the grill?
No,
just
right on the countertop. Right on the countertop.
Did you time it, Hakeem? See how long
it really does work.
That's a good trick.
Yeah.
Would the backside of GrillGrates do that? Yes. You wouldn't want to do it because
absolutely
it's clean.
But if you're still saran or something, yes.
Yeah.
And then when I'm in a pinch, I have done that on many occasions. Throw it on the grill or open up the grill, flip them over, and put something frozen on there to thaw it out quicker. You bet. Absolutely.
Can we talk
conductivity?
Can we talk Bahamas?
Sure.
How's things going? So people may not know, but that's kind of your second home.
It is. We
25
years we've been there.
25 years.
And that house was built in '65. And as you were there, we had that wonderful steak cook-off.
Yeah.
And I guess the following year, Dorian took us down. One of the worst hurricanes ever to hit in the world, really.
Yes, because the time it's set.
And it was huge winds. It was mostly a wind event. And what was weird, you've been to our house. The front of the ocean front side ended up in the yard, and it was like they went up in the air and they switched places, and the walls were in one piece, laying on the ground. But this wall was over here, and that wall was over here, and the roof was across the street. All we had left was a slab in the back wall.
Wow.
And it's taken 2 years, but Susan's there right now.
Is
she
she
says
really?
hello. I told her I was coming here. She's like, good.
How many of her coconut trees survived?
Half, believe it or not.
Really? Wow.
That's her her thing. She's named most of our trees.
Yeah.
And
she gave us a whole tour.
Yeah,
introduced us to it.
Amazingly enough, I mean, they really now they all have a hell of a lean to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got, and she's counted them back. We have almost 100 again. And we've been planting like crazy, but it took a year to get the yard clear because Ed and Pam, Ed's house next to us, his house ended up in our yard. His whole house blew out and just it was almost like Dorothy. It went up and went splat, and that was on our side yard. So we had 2 houses to get off our yard.
Amazing.
70-something dump trucks full of the house. But we're fortunate. This is where that grateful thing comes in. It was so funny because we took our kids down right after it happened because it's like, guys, this is a family decision here.
Are we going to rebuild or whatever?
And Julia, the guy joked, we found some Nassau Royale, which hasn't been made in forever, in the liquor cabinet. Liquor cabinet in the kitchen was still there, right? So we're sitting out front. The egg was in shatters.
Yeah.
And we're sitting out front just sipping on this Nassau Royale. And the kid said, hey, we got the next one. I'm like, okay, then we got this one. So we've been building it back for 2 years.
Oh, man.
And we slept in the house. I was there last Friday. We slept in the house for the first time.
Wow.
Didn't have power, so we were kind of glamping. But we have a generator out back that we were plugged in and kind of got the lights and the refrigerators going.
Well, how was the rest of the people on the island? Is everybody adapted?
You talk about resiliency. These people, now that we lost most of the children, went back to the States. So the island has 500 people. Now it's down to about probably 350 as far as population goes. I would say it's 90% back, the Green Turtle Club, where you guys stay.
Yeah.
doing fine. The marina was full this summer. So
I got an email the other day saying taking reservations.
I hear you, and I'm hoping we're going to do it again. One last little story about that. We are hopeful. Before Dorian happened, we had the Guinness Book of, because you were on the beach. Remember when we grilled those cheeseburgers?
That's right.
We took those event grills to that uninhabited island. Picture that island with 1,500 to 2,000 people on it, boats scattered all around, and they've been doing it for 30 years. We have Guinness Book of World Record teed up to see if we could break a record for the most cheeseburgers cooked in one day. And
what's the record now?
I don't remember, but we have to hit something like 2,000. So it's a good number.
Yeah.
Who owns all those? Are those all your grills?
Yes.
Or, really?
Yeah, we've been sponsoring
they're outfitted with the GrillGrates.
Yeah, we've been sponsoring. Those grills have to be replaced, but we've been sponsoring that amongst others. They've got a great rum sponsor, and Bubba Burger used to sponsor for a long time. It's a different hamburger now.
Yeah.
So I provide those catering, the event grills, the Sam's Club grills, which are fabulous.
They are.
The 8 burners, but they're without a lid. That's hard to cook on without GrillGrate.
Yeah.
So we just, we supply the grills and the GrillGrates, and then usually it's my kids go down and play the cooker. I'm kind of a little old for that, but it is a fun party. But I'm hoping we're going to be trying to set a Guinness record in July if we have the event. We're hoping to.
Oh man!
And I hope that we have you guys back there again soon too.
I would love that. Was as far as events go, that's probably the best barbecue cooking event I've ever been to in my life.
Well, that's a compliment to my wife, because I just was at the front of the party, and she was really, you would understand this, Rochelle. She worked for weeks and weeks to get that together, but to have you all on that party barge, and then to do the pizzas on the one beach, and then
swimming with the pig.
Yes. Now, that beach has a 3-story bar on it now.
What?
Wow.
A swim-up pool. A friend of ours bought it. And,
the whole island?
Yes. And well, not the whole island, but bought that in North End.
Yeah.
And it's called Big O's. And it's the coolest place. Brady's been there. All these celebrities. Kenny Chesney's been there.
No way.
And there's nobody lives on this island.
This has just been in the last year, though, because it was.
It was built before Dorian, and it was knocked down.
Yeah.
And these guys built it right back. And the pigs are well taken care of now. They are extremely happy pigs.
I bet they are.
And so the pigs, the whole routine is there, but bigger and better than ever. And that bar is just,
man.
I keep telling them that they're going to be the most famous bar and grill in the world.
Yeah. I'd say, people are sleeping on green turkey. It is beautiful. Just to be as close really to the States as it is. It's a little bit of a challenge to get there, because you had to, fly this there and then take a water taxi or whatever, but it wasn't bad at all. And once you're there, it's paradise, and it's like private paradise. Everybody on the island, there's not a lot of people, is super cool. Best people you'll ever meet in the world. And you're immersed in the Bahamian culture there, and the way, I don't know how y'all found that place, but it's paradise.
But we're great, and our kids, our kids went every summer, so they were partially. My son's Bahamian; he can dive 30 feet for conch like they can. I can't get down 10 feet. But I hope that we're doing another event there. That was so much fun putting all those kettles on the beach.
I hope Eddie's still there. He was the conch man.
Oh, Eddie's doing just fine. I will tell him you said hello.
Yeah, please do.
Eddie the Rock.
Yeah, he gave me my first conch pistol.
Okay, so you've been initiated.
I've been initiated. And what was the drinks we were drinking? What are they known for?
The Goombay Smash.
Goombay Smash, man.
And she's back. That
Really?
place was taken down. Most it was I would say 90% of the houses were either totally destroyed or had serious damage.
90%.
90%. But the outpouring, you couldn't believe. The love and all the money and the foundation help. Just freighters and freighters and freighters of plywood and tarps and generators. There was like 5 generators per person on the island, because it was just overwhelmed. We were giving away a lot of the stuff to neighboring islands, because we were so overwhelmed and blessed with, the outpouring of love.
So
and it continues.
How many islands did it hit like that?
We were just north of the epicenter, 10 miles. You know where we went to the Cheeseburger Beach?
Yeah,
untouched.
Wow, no way.
That's 5 miles north of our house.
Yeah.
But 10 miles south of our house was unbelievable devastation. Over 1,000 people died. They don't report it because they were undocumented, Haitians.
Yeah.
And, it's really sad. We all know a lot of folks who passed, but it's, it's amazing. The recovery is incredible. The resilience of these people is amazing. But that's what that community is.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure everything's okay right now. That's just laid back like that.
And, the house is totally different. It's, We lost 20 feet of shore front. I mean, we had to build back into the side, but a lot of it's still the same. The view is exactly the same. I'm having my cocktail sitting in the same spot. I'm just 20 feet back. So life is good. And I got my PK down there.
Yeah.
And,
did you?
Oh, yes.
So that's the big challenge to there. People don't realize to get stuff there. Like when you talk about getting, I don't see how.
Well, again, all the Islanders got together, and one of our friends, ex-IBMer, logistics person, worked out a barge relationship. So we're shipping stuff to Miami. It goes on a barge, and it's there the next day.
Really?
Wow.
And they're there twice a week for the last year and a half. So there's been a huge influx, and the Bahamian government was cool. They kind of said, hey, you don't have to go through the customs stuff. It's VAT, kind of, they waive the duties and stuff. So there's been a huge, just after other hurricanes, it's like, it's amazing the building boom and what's happened. So now we're on the right side of things, and I hope you're hearing about an event soon. I just have to get Susan tuned up for that, because after the last one, I got in a little bit of trouble for not being on the back side of it as much as I was on the front side of it. But
that's tough. I know.
But we were so glad to have you and some of 60 of our favorite people down there. That was something to cherish the rest of our lives.
Talking about to go to the Bahamas, and what was it, February?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So I was like, man, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'll go with July.
But I think the next time what we're going to do is probably just say, here's a pile of rebar or cinder block, and here's all this stuff.
Oh, I like that even
Here's
better.
a few shovels, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And
don't worry about that's all right.
just because all that was expensive getting all those.
Yeah.
Weber gave me the damn grills, but it still cost a lot of money to get them there, and we did pay VAT and duty then. So, but we actually sold all of those. Every one of that, we had 25 Webers. I think we sold every one of them that week.
Yeah, and they stayed on the island, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, there's a few of them still floating around, I think. A few of them blew away.
Well, awesome. Well, man, is there anything
Well,
coming up that you would like to
Yes.
talk about?
How'd you know?
Hey, yep.
You knew. Okay. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, well, depending on when this airs, we're launching an app called GrillMaster.
Okay.
Powered by GrillGrates.
That's interesting.
And, your app is pretty darn good, buddy. But we're doing kind of a similar thing. We want it to be very recipe rich. You'll be on, a lot of your stuff, you're one of our guest chefs. So the app, GrillMaster, will be out shortly. There'll be a lot of contests, giving away grills every month and, prizes every week to kind of get it started.
Yeah.
But we're real excited about this. Hakeem's been driving. All of us have been working on this almost night and day. We wanted it sooner, but everything takes time. So we've got it's a companion app for the griller. But we've seen a demographic shift in the grilling world too. We had more new grillers hit the pond than probably in the last 5 years combined. And there's a huge. That's why I think your business is at the an inflection point in spades, because people want to know how to barbecue right.
That's right. That's right.
So the thirst is there, and we've had. We ask people when you buy our grates and you register, you newbie, prosumer, more newbies than we've ever seen. We used to see a lot of prosumers, I'm a part-time chef or whatever, but the newbies in the pond, it's wonderful. And the whole thing with the phone and their thirst for knowledge.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's
great.
the big
That's
new thing
fantastic.
for us.
What's the name of the app? GrillMaster?
GrillMaster by GrillGrate.
Yeah. When's it going to launch?
It should be, depending on the date, November 1st.
Oh, good. Hey,
so we're close.
Yeah, that's next.
Well, we're
Monday.
we're bugging it right now. In fact, Hakeem and I, while we were driving over here, it was like we were both kind of. Well, he shouldn't have been because he was driving.
See when he can do the crashing.
But we were sending a lot of stuff to the developers back and forth. But but thank you for asking. That's kind of the new thing on the horizon.
That's awesome, man. That's exciting. There, yeah, I'm gonna definitely download that.
Sure, when we'd appreciate your support.
Yes, sir.
We'll
share.
But your beautiful mug is up there.
Well, I appreciate your support too. We've known each other quite a while, and it's been an awesome ride. I'm telling you.
Well, I think the best is yet to come, guys, because I think we're in the golden age of grilling. Really,
I think
the pandemic, I think, got us back to some roots that we needed to anyway. If there's ever a bright spot, it was the backyard became sanctuary, and cooking together became sacrosanct, and it kind of cemented a lot of people's needs to be together in the backyard.
You throw everything out the window. I don't care if it's where you're from, who you are, whatever. When we're all grilling, we're all happy and together. And that's awesome.
I think
we don't talk politics. We don't talk religion.
No,
we don't talk all
no.
that.
And if you try that, it's like you're booted from the tribe.
We don't want that around here. Yeah, you can do that anywhere else, but not here around the grill.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, Shell, do you have any other questions?
We went through 3 pages of questions.
I had one question we didn't hit.
Okay.
One more. Have you ever grilled rock lobster? because that's what y'all get in the Bahamas.
Well,
right?
we call them. They're the ones without the claws.
Yes.
I do it all the time.
How?
Now I split them. Okay. And this is, again, the beautiful thing of GrillGrates. 9 out of 100 people are going to put them in the shell.
Yep.
Shell down. Slice them right down the rails, get a nice, beautiful mark, and then flip them over, and then put your butter on, and do your whatever compound, whatever you want to do. So I split them, and they usually stay attached at the tail.
Yeah.
So then it's just flip them over, mark them up. In fact, another quick story, we did a deal with the Big Green Egg at the Green Turtle Club. It was a tremendous, perfect promotion, right? And there was a chef named Chef Joho from Chicago who is very involved with Let Us Entertain You. He's got, he's got some restaurants all over the United States. I mean, I didn't know who he was, but he was grilling lobster on the GrillGrates on the Green Egg, and he's like, "Hey, what are these? What are these?"
Yeah.
And we become friends. I visit him in Chicago. He's got them on his grills at home, But it was lobster and GrillGrates that hooked this very well-known chef.
Yeah.
And so I love grilling lobster. In fact, that's what Susan had the other night without me. Grilled by my buddy. She doesn't grill when I'm not there.
Well, that's awesome. I'm going to have to try those.
I know, yeah.
I'll
Split
do
them
some
face
grilled
down, mark them up, and then the butter,
yeah.
they're already well
What's your
cooked.
time on that?
It's fast.
Yeah.
Less than
Lobster
10
cooks
minutes.
so fast. It doesn't, it's
Less than 10 minutes.
If you overcook it, it's rubbers.
And you don't need to be super duper hot either. But yeah, when it's done right, there's nothing like it.
So what's your favorite thing to cook on the grill? If you had to...
I'm pretty boring. I have to say a ribeye.
Ribeye steak. Ain't nothing wrong with that answer. I'm a
Yeah.
steak man,
I like
too.
your great.
I'm a
I'd have to
steak
say a
man too.
ribeye.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brad, we appreciate you coming in and hanging out with you, man.
Oh, it's been
We're
a
gonna
pleasure.
do this more often.
It's so nice. Oh, we do, and it's this has been a fun trip. I have to blame it all on Hakeem. He's like, we got to get on the road, and we haven't been out, and it's been so reinforcing, to see you guys, to see Lambert, and just to hang out, Jimmy Shotwell. It's just been, it's like, man, I got to get back on the road.
Well, next time maybe we can get outside and
Fire it up,
GrillGrates up, man. We do a live or something.
There will
like
be a next
that.
time.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's either here or our place because you come
right.
through Atlanta a lot.
Yeah, we do. We come. I mean,
So what's your next up? What's new on your world? Can I turn this around for a second, or are we up to out of time?
It's about to be break time.
Yeah,
Okay.
hunting season.
Hunting season.
yeah,
So you're going to take a
that's-
break. Well, October is usually, except for the pandemic world, usually it is a pretty slower.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy for us, and we're ramping up for Christmas. And once you get through,
I saw those gift things you're
holidays,
working on out there.
We're hoping we're putting all our pieces in place to where we can, relax a little bit through the holidays. So that's my time to go to the woods and hide a little and decompress and think about new ideas and stuff to do next year. So.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna put GrillGrate at the top of that too. So
Well, I have to tell you before we leave, I am so blown away by what you guys have accomplished. And how long has it been?
man,
When did you start packing stuff
about-
out of your garage?
2008 or 9.
So we're
Right
we're almost
there.
the same age.
Yeah, we're same amount of time. I think I talked about in the previous podcast. I'd found one set of GrillGrates before yours, and they were those.
It's called man
Yes,
grates.
They were the heavy duty cast iron
Yep.
ones that rusted up and were a pain to deal with. And then I found yours, and there's no
And you
telling,
lost theirs.
There's no telling how many sets I bought because I had to have one for every. And I had to have one for every grill, and then that was
then every new
before.
grill.
That was before you started cooking. I didn't even know anything about the SCA. SCA hadn't
Right.
come along.
It hadn't come along then.
I had them on my Yoder first. That was the first time I ever used them. Then I had to have them for the Weber. Then I had to get them for my egg. Then I had to get them for a Kong. Then I had to get them for I'm talking about every grill that has a set. Now I need some for a Blackstone at Deer Camp.
Yes, you do. Well, we got please don't buy that. I think we'll have to send you some of those. This has been an absolute pleasure.
It is, Brian. We really appreciate it. It's always fun catching up with friends.
Well, like you said, the fellowship's what it's all about. Even when we're not around the grill, it's great
That's
to
it.
reminisce and to
That's
kind of
it.
catch up.
That's all we do on our podcast.
Well,
I hope we
thank
didn't
you.
drill you too hard.
Oh my
'cause I want it to
God!
be like
Thank you
hang
for
out.
having me and inviting me here.
Well, where can they find you if they want to connect with GrillGrate?
GrillGrate.com. GrillGrate.com and soon to be on the, I guess the Apple and Android store, right? And it'll be GrillMaster by GrillGrate. You should find us on either one of those words.
That's all right. So y'all give him a follow. You're on all the social channels. I know.
Yes. That's all he does a very good job of that.
So y'all send him some messages. Brad will be glad to answer them, right?
Well, I usually
Personally.
I get bumped up. Hey, would you handle this one?
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, Shell, where can they find us?
If you'd like to connect with Malcom, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram and TikTok And Tyler.
If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me at TikTok_Tyler on Instagram.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate everyone giving us a listen and hanging out with us today, and we'll see y'all next time. We're gone.